Chapter 3. Surprise, surprise. Here's something that shouldn't be true, but it is. It's always way easier to make a mess than to clean it up. You'd think it'd be about the same, but it's not. Before I was even half finished cleaning, I heard Dad calling me again.
"Piper, come here. Mom's home and she has a surprise guest with her."
I love surprise guests, and I really wanted it to be a certain surprise guest. "See you later," I told my slime pet, and I ran out of my room. I didn't want to get my hopes up, because the surprise guest could have been anyone, like one of Mom's work colleagues. They're mostly nice, but also mostly boring. The surprise guest I wanted it to be is the opposite of boring, and my hopes were already up about it being her. That's the thing about your hopes. They go up all on their own. You can't stop them. And luckily, it was just who I wanted. "Grandma Sadie!" I cried. Pipsqueak. Grandma Sadie lives an hour away from us, which isn't really that far. But she travels a lot for her job, so we don't get to see her much at all. She doesn't have a regular job, by the way. She works for Astroblast Explorers. I'm sure you've heard about it, because it's very famous. But just in case you haven't, the job of an Astroblast Explorer is to explore things, obviously. In the old days, there were people who explored the different parts of the Earth. The Astroblast Explorers explore things in space. I gave Grandma Sadie a big hug. "I thought you weren't coming back for 6 more months." "I had an unexpected trip home for a couple of days," Grandma Sadie said. "Is this your wow for the day?" Dad asked me. Every day, Dad asks me about my wow and pow. Wow means the best thing that happened to you all day, and pow means the worst thing. "Oh, yes," I said. "Grandma Sadie is such a big wow, I don't even remember my pow." "You want to see the surprise I brought you?" Grandma Sadie asked. "Yes, please," I said. "Oh, Mother," Mom said. "You don't need to bring Piper a present every time you visit. Your presence is present enough. Right, Pipe?" "Yes, of course," I said. And I meant it, but as long as Grandma Sadie had already brought a present, I should get to see it, right? Grandma Sadie's presents were always unusual. She didn't knit me sweaters or sneak me candy like other kids' grandmas. Not even close. Instead, one time, she gave me a package of special space meals. Spaghetti and meatballs and ice cream sandwiches. They came in plastic bags with all the air sucked out of them. Another time, she brought me a weird black rock with swirls in it. It was made of lava from Mars. "Piper, go fetch my bag," Grandma Sadie said. "It's by the front door." "Coming right up," I said. I ran to the front door. Grandma Sadie's bag was big and shiny, like a pillow covered in aluminum foil. It was heavy, too. I half carried, half dragged it back to her. "Thank you, Pipsqueak," Grandma Sadie said. She snapped it open and mumbled as she dug around inside. Let's see. I was so excited. I felt my heart starting to beat harder. Would I get a comet rock? Or a drop of diamond rain from Jupiter? Or maybe a piece of Saturn's ring? Whatever it was definitely coming with me to show and tell tomorrow. "Here," Grandma Sadie said. She held the present out to me. Chapter 4. Space Dust. Grandma Sadie handed me a small plastic bottle, the see-through kind that medicine comes in. But there wasn't medicine in this bottle. Instead, there was, well, It looked like there wasn't anything at all.
Do you like it?
Grandma Sadie asked. I can't tell what it is.
It's space dust collected from around the cosmos, she said.
What's the cosmos?
The universe.
Oh, I said, and I started to unscrew the top.
Don't do that, dear. You don't want to make a mess.
How could I make a mess with something that was practically invisible?
Don't worry, Dad said. Piper's been practicing with the vacuum cleaner.
Mom raised an eyebrow.
I think it's better to keep it in the bottle for the time being,
Grandma Sadie said.
All right, Pipsqueak.
All right, I said. I rocked the bottle from side to side and squinted to see the dust. We have show and tell tomorrow. I'd bring this in, but you can't tell there's anything in there. If I say it's space dust, Claire will think I made it up. Do you have something else I could bring?
That's all I brought back,
Grandma Sadie said.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, I said.
Piper, I think you're forgetting a couple more words,
Mom said. Oh, right. Thank you.
You're welcome, Pipsqueak,
Grandma Sadie said.
I don't know about you guys,
Dad said,
but I'm pretty hungry. Anyone else want dinner? I do,
Grandma Sadie said.
Traveling home from the space station always makes me famished. Great, turkey burgers coming right up.
He brought a platter of burgers to the table with all the fixings, plus sweet potato fries on the side. Mom started asking Grandma Sadie about her work.
Where'd you just come back from? I'm afraid I can't say,
Grandma Sadie said.
What are you working on?
Grandma Sadie shook her head.
Can't say that either.
Conversations with Grandma Sadie always go like this. The people at Astroblast Explorers work on a lot of super secret things.
Do you want to stay over tonight, Mother?
Mom asked.
Piper could sleep in Tom's office and you could take her bed.
Uh-oh. I wouldn't mind giving up my bed for Grandma Sadie, but my room wasn't exactly clean enough for her to sleep in there.
Thanks, dear,
Grandma Sadie said to Mom.
But I need to get home tonight to pack. The Astroblast Explorers are going on a trip tomorrow.
Phew.
Where are you headed this time?
Dad asked. Grandma Sadie smiled, and I knew what she was going to say.
I'm afraid I can't say. Can't blame a guy for asking,
Dad said. When dinner was over, Mom drove Grandma Sadie back to the train station, and I helped Dad with the dishes.
Hey, Piper,
Dad said.
Why don't you log onto my computer and write Grandma Sadie a little thank you email?
I told her thank you, I reminded him.
I know, but I'm not sure she knew that you meant it.
Well, dust is just dust. Dad shook his head, and I knew he was disappointed in me.
In this house, it's the thought behind a gift that counts, not the gift itself. Grandma Sadie always thinks of you, and you should be thankful for that.
Okay, I said. I'll write to her. I headed into Dad's office and sat down at his desk. Dear Grandma Sadie, I know it's the thought that counts, so thank you for thinking of me. It's nice to have space dust. If you see anything cooler than dust the next time you're in space, can you bring me some? But if you can't, that's okay too. Love, Piper. Chapter 5. Did you hear something? After that, I went to my room to get ready for bed. My slime pet was still on my desk. Actually, he looked more like a blob than a pet. His little mouth and arms had melted into his blobness. I fixed them up. There you go, I said. I changed into my PJs. Mom knocked on the door to say goodnight, and I forgot to tell her not to come in.
Oh my goodness, what happened in here?
She asked. What do you mean?
Oh, come on now, Piper,
Mom said.
I know you know what I'm talking about.
I made a little bit of slime, I admitted.
By yourself?
Yes.
In your room?
Yes.
You know better than that,
Mom said.
You're not allowed to make slime without Dad or me supervising, and all slime making is supposed to take place in the kitchen.
I knew about the first rule, I said. I didn't know the second one.
The second rule is one you should have realized without needing to hear it, Mom said. There's slime sticking to everything in here, even the walls. How'd you manage to get it on the walls, Piper?
I don't know, I said. But don't worry, slime peels off. Watch. I tugged on a string of slime that was stuck to the wallpaper. It came right off, except for a little bit. I scratched the leftover slime with my nail. There, you couldn't tell it'd ever been there. Well, you mostly couldn't tell. I'm sorry, I said.
What were you thinking, Piper?
I shrugged. I don't know, I said. I felt bad when I got home from school because Benny got a pet hamster, and I can't have one. And I can't have a dog like Claire and Beatrice, or a cat like Theo, or a rabbit like Diego, or mice like Izzy either.
Mice?
Mom said.
You want a pet mouse now?
I want a pet something, I said. But I'm allergic to everything, except for slime, so I decided to make my own slime pet. That's him on my desk. He was cute when I first made him. The size of a kitten, but rounder with big eyes and a little mouth, plus arms for cuddling. You can't tell now. That's the problem with a slime pet. It doesn't keep its shape. Well, the second problem. The first problem is that it's not alive.
I see,
Mom said. Am I going to be punished? I asked.
Yes, I'm afraid so,
Mom said.
When you get home from school tomorrow, the first thing you have to do is clean your room. And even after you're finished cleaning, there won't be any more slime making in this house for the rest of the
day, I filled in.
Week,
Mom said. A week? But Mom, that's way too much time.
We'll see what kind of cleaning job you do and discuss it again tomorrow. Come on, get into bed. I'll tuck you in.
I climbed into bed. Mom stepped toward me, but she stopped to pick something up from the floor.
What's this?
She asked, holding out the bottle from Grandma Sadie. It must have rolled out of my pocket when I changed into my PJs, I said.
I'm putting it right here on your bookshelf, okay?
Okay.
Sweet dreams, Piper,
Mom said. She leaned down to kiss me goodnight. Then she headed for the door. Mom?
Yes?
I'm sorry I broke the rules. And I'm not just saying that to get out of a punishment. I really am sorry.
I know you are. I'll help you clean up tomorrow. Go to sleep now, okay?
Okay, I said. She switched off the light. I snuggled under the covers, trying to get cozy. If I had a pet in bed with me, it'd be easier. But I found a good warm spot and closed my eyes. That's when I heard the sound.